goodness, here we go again. Hello friends, how are you this morning? I hope you're doing well. I do not like this lighting and I do not like this angle. However, it is 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why I looked up like that. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I got up at like 2:30 to go to the gym. I have a ton of energy today for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why, because I ate an entire pint of ice cream yesterday. I'm just on fire. I cannot be stopped. Usually I stop myself. I put myself down by eating too much sugar or too much fat or something. I'm just en fuego. Anyway, I wanted to come to you very quickly to speak to you about the Dark World players. And I'm going to finally give you a little bit of insight into the two guys, I'm not going to call them gentlemen, who were recruited to target me. And I want to give you this insight because I want you to know why the recruitment failed, why the targeting failed. Now, I'm not going to give too much information on these guys because I don't think that they deserve any more credit. And I also want you to figure out who they are when you read the book. And it's very easy to figure it out because I use the name of their most popular movie characters and you can just look it up. The guy, the gentleman who read my book, figured who they both were out. He figured out all of the names that I used, like, I guess it's not a nom de plume. That's only for a writer, right? Well, I used like a fake name for each person and he figured out everybody except for one, which was really interesting. And I thought I made it very clear because I called him the head rat at a film corporation. But, you know, different people have different levels of understanding of stuff. But anyway, so these two guys are very similar. They both kind of look alike. They have the same phenotype, although they have different cultural backgrounds. They're both privileged white males with a lot of money. Now that, unfortunately for these guys, is not my type. They look good. They're very good looking, both of them. However, guys like that, and it's not because of their culture or their race. I don't have a problem with white men. I have a problem with privileged white men with money who are clearly capitalists. Guys like that, especially when they're good looking. I have never had a good interaction with a man like that, and I have had several. And men like that remind me of Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. Those guys on a long enough timeline, I feel like would sell you out for money. Or they even give me like Scott Peterson vibes, like where they would just try to get rid of their wife or their spouse if they didn't want him anymore. And that kind of energy is not for me. Now, these two guys both ended up fulfilling the prophecy. Like, I kind of prejudged them as those type of men, and they both were willing to sell out an opportunity to have any kind of relationship with me for money. So I was right. And they just really never caught my attention in a romantic way, ever, just because they're not my type. Physically, they are good looking. I feel like when you find out who these are, you'll be like, oh, wow, because they're both very, very strapping, good-looking men. However, looks aren't everything. And there is just something about the privilege and the capitalist and the opportunistic vibe of these men that is a turn-off. And actors have always been a turn-off to me. I don't like the energy of an actor, especially one who wants to be famous in Hollywood. Like a Broadway actor or something like that, that's different. Or a real actor. And there are a couple of guys in Hollywood that I consider to be like real actors. They're not just there just playing games. And even then, they're still pretty actory. Like, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio, to me, ever since he was a young boy, like he's a few years older than me, but he has always been an actor. Like, if you want to give an example of somebody who is an actor, he's actually doing his job, like acts as a craft. And still, he has all of this that swirls around him, even though he is really an artist. These other guys, one of them is an actor, not as good as, let's just say, a DiCaprio. And the other one is not an actor at all. The other one is an operative. The other one is an opportunist. And the other one used his looks to get where he was. And he thought that he could use his looks to get somewhere with me, and he was wrong, and they were all wrong. And these people, I guess, somehow were able to check out the spiritual energy that surround these two gentlemen specifically, and somehow they picked up that there was or could have been some sort of connection between us that would have been successful in some way, even if it was Sorry, the camera cut off. Even if it was just the weather or we would have whatever it is. And because of that, they were determined to keep us apart. They feel like I can only be successful with a partner, with a man, and I need this man's money in order to succeed, because that's the structure that they have lived by in Hollywood. And they currently think that the reason that I'm in this car now is because they're keeping these guys away from me. That is not the case at all. That is not the case at all. These people have no power in this situation. This is divine timing. The reason that I have been in this position for this long is because of the God of this place. And I could get into the specifics of that, and I probably will later, but I'm not going to do that right now. It has nothing to do with these people. It has nothing to do with these men. It has nothing to do with the relationship. I don't need a relationship. I had hundreds of thousands of dollars coming to me from my grandmother. I already had money enough to build myself a good life. Anybody who's been paying attention to me long enough knows with a couple of $100,000, I could have made myself a very, very good life. And I will be getting that back plus more. I don't need anybody's charity. I don't need anybody's assistance in that way. What is going to happen here is that justice will be served and karma will play out. The spirit will move whoever needs to be moved to make that happen when the time comes. And I feel like these people know this, but they want to pretend like something else is going on. They're absolutely wrong. I have never, ever wanted these guys. Now, one of these guys they're actually both part of the plot. The reason why one of them lost the game from the very beginning was because the first time I saw him, like obviously I'd seen him before, but I saw him in 2017 on a talk show lying about the Super Bowl. He was in collusion with Robert Kraft. He's from Boston, this guy, and he is part of the whole scam. He was paid to go to the Super Bowl and then name drop Robert Kraft on a talk show. And the talk show host ended up coming to my family's restaurant right before the woman I spoke about that was murdered was murdered. So the whole thing is very, very connected. And then the other actor was starring in a movie about, I'm not even going to get into it, but he's connected as well. And it's all connected. Boston. It's a Boston connection. And the second actor was starring in this movie to cover up a story where they lied. They lied about this. You know what? I'm going to give away too much information. But they're all bad actors. These two actors from the very beginning lost any credibility with me. And they proceeded for all of these years to try and force a narrative in which you know what happened with Rihanna? They wanted me, that girl, and then they're my Rihanna. And each celebrity seems to get a person that they are trying to target, and then the media hopes that they snap. And it worked in the case of Rihanna. It works in the case of some people. It's never going to work in the case of me. I am a Native American woman of African descent from the Creole nation with Greek ancestry. No offense to any upper northeastern, upper middle class, privileged, high class, or whatever white man, but you are never on this continent ever going to get me to feel anything out of character. I am not going to lose my mind for you. I am not going to chase you. I am not going to pine after you. I'm not going to long for you. I'm not even going to approach you. You're the one who wants me. I don't know who you think you are or where you think you are, but I'm the prize on this continent. Now, you want some shine? Both of these gentlemen, they wanted to get some action. They wanted somebody to suck their dick, and they had to go to Europe to get that to happen. Because this is the United States of America, and somebody with skin tone as gold in his mind ain't stunting nobody like you. And that is all I have to say. Thank you very much. Love you. Bye.